So obviously the predictable thing happened straight away. I made a video saying diversity is a bloody awful, terrible idea. Nobody should be into diversity politically because it sucks and it just destroys everything. And someone whose comment I immediately just blocked because it was rubbish said, "You're racist, you obviously hate everyone if you don't like diversity." I'm sure I said this in the video, right? Political diversity is not the same thing as having cultural diversity, which we already had. Political diversity is segregation, right? Political diversity is, I have my trans community and I want to be completely separate from every other community. Or I'm in the intersectional Mexican Latino community and I want to have separate rooms and bathrooms and bookshops and libraries and everything else from the rest of society, right? That's political diversity. That is not cultural. Cultural diversity is if I go on holiday to Spain, right, and I try and speak a little bit of España, Spanish, I say gracias, and I say, Spanish words instead of English words, which I'm not very good at, but I do my best anyway, and I have sangria, or I eat paella, or I have a siesta at 2 o'clock in the day. I do Spanish things when I'm in Spain, right? Then when I come back, I use that as inspiration to improve my English culture. That's diversity. It doesn't mean I bring Spain here and I push my English culture to one side and I put Spanish culture here and I punish everyone for saying that Spanish culture is not in some way superior. That's what we're doing. Look, be reasonable, guys, including the freaking idiots who are trying to character assassinate me with these stupid comments. It will not work, right? The reason it will not work. Everyone has their own national culture, right? That is what creates diversity in the beginning, is it not? Having unique, identifiable cultures. English, Welsh, Scottish, Spanish, Portuguese, Mexican, American, Australian, Arab, Jew, whatever. If you don't have those separate, unique identities, then you cannot have diversity in the first place, right? So it requires, to have diversity, that we have English as a separate thing. We have Scottish as a separate thing. We have Welsh, we have Portuguese, we have Mexican, all these nationalities as a separate thing in their own right. That's required for diversity to exist. So therefore, if you're saying cultural political diversity, where we cancel everyone's differences out and just mush it all together in one big grey Play-Doh blob in the middle, and say you have to have this, otherwise you're racist, evil and bad, that is not diversity really, is it? What you're doing there is you're rubbing out and you're denying those unique separate identities, those national cultures, so that you can squish everything into one big socialist fat blob of uselessness that everyone hates, and then enforce that on people. And while you're doing that, what you're actually doing is you're correcting here and there to make this big plasticine grey blob into what you want it to be, which is ultimately going to resemble your unique culture that you started with, right? So it is racist and it is the defeat of diversity to have political diversity the way we're told it should be. And that's what I'm saying. Having political cultural diversity sucks because it is totally racist. It doesn't allow us to have our unique identities, our national cultures, and therefore it doesn't allow us to defend our borders and the things which make us unique. What makes Englishness unique? Stiff upper lip, not being a victim, but also having courtesies, politeness, saying please and thank you, opening the door for people, calling people sir and madam. This is English culture. Now, we do that when we go abroad. I certainly do. If I go to Spain, Portugal, Mexico, Argentina, wherever I go, I will call strangers that I meet sir or madam because it is polite, and I will open doors for them, even though I'm in their country. Even though I'm respecting their country, I'm bringing my culture with me because it is good. And you know what? Nobody tells me off for it in their countries. So why, when people come to this country, do they want to tell me off for doing it here? Because it is daft, fake politics. Political nonsense, political diversity, it just fails. And the reason why people accept it is because they're not very clever, they haven't really thought it through, and they're just going along with it because on social media, on TikTok or whatever, they got told it was a good idea. Well, guess what? Those people are going to end up depressed, penniless, and on the scrap heap. Because nobody in the long term wants that. Not even these guys coming from the Arab states who are telling you that you're racist and Islamophobe because you don't accept their Sharia. They don't want you to do that either. They just want you out the way. And they want to weaken you so that Sharia can be implemented, and that's the reason why they do all this stuff. They don't have respect for you stupid lefties any more than we do. Any more than you respect yourself. They think you're an idiot. And you are an idiot, quite frankly. Because the thing which would have made you not an idiot, the thing which would have given you value in the long term, made you strong, is the traditions and culture that you were born into. You know, that's the flavour of your ancestry. That's what makes you unique. You know, that gives rise to your personality being different, and it sets the table for you to grow into that personality. So if you throw all that away, and you say, oh cool, some Muslim told me it's bad and racist to be English, so I'm going to have blue hair, be an intersexual feminist, I'm going to vote for Gaza and Black Lives Matter and tell everyone that white people are racist. What do you think happens at the end of all that stuff? When all that stuff ends, when all those politics are moved on from, what happens to you then? Well, you've dyed your hair into ridiculous stupid colours and put a bull ring through your nose, and you've pissed off all your neighbours by politically, advertising that you want half of them dead and they're all racist and evil. So when those politics move on, you're stuck with the consequences of that. Everyone's going to hate you. Your family are going to hate you. You're going to hate yourself. And society is going to look different, but you still have to live in it. Right? So these guys don't care. These Muslims don't care. They're not hanging around. When it becomes clear that Sharia is not going to take over our little island, when we're not going to be an Islamic nation, guess what happens to those guys? They will leave. Or they'll blow themselves up or something. They won't be here. Right? But you, hopefully anyway, you still will be. Just think about what you're doing, guys. Come on. Really, it's not that difficult to figure out. The reason why cultural diversity is a bad idea is because it is incompatible with everyone having their own lifestyle. Like I say, it's a blob of grey plasticine someone else has built, and over time they're trying to edit it down into this specific personality type. You know, coloured hair, bull ring through the nose, has to support Gaza, has to support socialism, has to be a Labour supporter or a reform guy. You know, can't be a Tory, no, you can't be a Conservative, no, you can't like classical music, no, you can't like reading, going for walks, you have to be this. If you're not this, then you're bad. That is not diversity, is it? That's Marxism. That's basically slavery, where somebody else has written your personality for you. And you have to be that or you're bad. Right? So it's brainwashing. So that's the summary of this video. Guys, stop complaining about me saying diversity is bad for this country. It is. We know that. Because you cannot go to any other country on earth and find it. No, you can't. Diversity does not exist in any other country but here. Because it is an experimental politic that is trending at the moment, and in a few years' time will be dead and buried and gone. And like I say, where's that going to leave you guys if you've buried your ancestry and your traditions and culture, pissed off your family and friends, in order to make your bed in diversity? When that politic goes away, where does that leave you? What are you going to do? Move to another country and look for it there? Because we know it does not exist out there. Those countries purposefully sent people here to make it, knowing that it would fail, so that they don't have that problem in future. But you dumb liberals were so eager to get your teeth into it so that you could launder away this fake guilt that got put on you, which by the way is not yours. Like, you had nothing to do with the war in Ukraine or the war in Israel or the Gazan starving orphans or whatever. The things they make you feel guilty for, none of that stuff's your fault. So why are they making you feel guilty for it and then saying you have to do this in order to get rid of this guilt? They are brainwashing you. And if you haven't figured that out by now, even with me telling you at the risk of my own safety, then quite frankly, there is no saving you, you're stupid. That's the end of this video. Don't be an idiot. Don't flush away your ancestry, your traditions, your family, your friends, and your whole nation and your culture, your unique identity and your personality. Do not give that stuff away so that you can flush away false, laundered guilt that some idiot socialist muppet from another country who hates you purposefully gave you in order to destroy you and yours. Because when they leave, you're going to be stuck with the mess. And believe you me, somebody is going to need to clean it up, and I don't want to be doing it on my own. So think about what I've said. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. God bless you all, and I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye now.